Well, it's hard to believe it, but we are already on to week 4. During this module, we'll consider the person as discoverer. And during this week, we'll be exploring questions related to science and human discovery. What are the limits of science? Does science provide meaningful answers to all human questions? Now, for those of us who haven't taken many science or math classes, not to worry. We won't be doing any science experiments, and you won't need to don a white lab coat or protective eyewear. What we are interested in is how science is understood and the kinds of answers that science can lead us to. The first reading is by Isaac Asimov, and it challenges the assumption that science is inherently boring. The breakthroughs discovered in science are deeply satisfying, especially for the discoverer. There's a deep joy in the process of discovery. The second reading is by Karl Popper. Karl Popper was famous for, among other things, his falsification theory of science. In other words, for him, what distinguishes science from pseudoscience, or things like astrology or numerology, is that science lays out hypotheses that can be tested and which lead to conclusions. These conclusions are always open to being falsified when new data or experiments challenge existing theories. The second reading is by biologist E.O. Wilson, who argues controversial that science, unlike other disciplines, is uniquely situated to provide meaningful answers about what we are as human beings, and about what our purpose is, and about what reality truly is. Wilson argues for a greater system of learning in which all disciplines, including religion and philosophy and art and literature, are housed beneath the authority of science. As you'll see from the reading by Wendell Berry, there are a number of critical kinds of questions that emerge in response to Wilson's approach. Is that approach too reductionistic? Does it turn science into a worldview that makes ultimate or big picture kinds of claims which themselves cannot be verified or proven through the method of science that Wilson lays out? Berry argues that science must avoid reductionism of the other branches of human knowing. As you read, think about the kinds of questions that science asks, as well as the limits to those questions. And think about whose views you align with most and why. As always, if you have questions, be sure to send me an email. I'm here to help. Happy studying.